that he was going to put me into an oven like a personal pan pizza.
Tonight on P&G Weekly, we check in with Dave Portnoy to hear his side of the story. We take a look at all of the verboten topics on Rock's private chat. And, of course, all the top stories from this past week tonight on P&G Weekly. Welcome to the show, everyone. This is P&G Weekly. Let's dive in. Our first story, New York City has elected Zoran Mamdani to be their new mayor, while some Jewish groups fear a new wave of anti-Semitism. The newly elected mayor met with some members of the local Jewish community after his election win. During the meeting, he vowed to turn some members of the community into lampshades. Many were shocked by this, as it was reminiscent of horror stories of Nazi Germany, but it turned out to be an error in translation, as Zoran was debuting his new hat line, which you can see being modeled here. This new fashion trend is expected to soar in popularity in the coming months. Republicans were also decimated in other key races around the country, and the Democrats have great momentum going into the midterms. With that spirit in mind, the president is heavily campaigning for the Democrats, putting his weight behind great candidates like Vivek Ramaswamy and Lindsey Graham, among other MAGA stalwarts. So the Democrats should have no problem claiming victory in 2026 as well. A former Capitol Police officer and Megan Rapinoe impersonator is allegedly under investigation relating to the pipe bombs on January 6th. Baker from The Blaze was the first to break the info on X, but declined to release more info due to the government's continued investigation. We have on good authority more arrests and information relating to this case will happen in about 2 more weeks. President Trump is completely giving the public what they voted for as he announces inflation is down, Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper than last year, cheaper Ozempic for all Americans, and the announcement of 50-year mortgages and 15-year car loans. So much good news about the country's direction that this pharmaceutical director fainted after hearing all of the great news. Civil war on the right? Many in establishment Republican circles are still kvetching and oy-veying about the Tucker and Nick collab, but some other closet groypers like Ben Shapiro are putting together greatest hits compilations to bring in new fans. Also, Megyn Kelly dug up a hilarious forgotten bit from the archives of Nick playing GTA and giving commentary. These amazing compilations are making Nick even more popular with all age groups, and hopefully they will keep pushing out that great content. So, with that in mind, we here at P&G Weekly are happy to award Megan and Ben the coveted Groyper of the Week award. Congratulations, you two. You earned it. Stay tuned, everyone, for an interview with Dave Portnoy.
Do you work long hours lurking on the dark web at your government job? Yeah. Do you sometimes get lonely while posting on 4chan how you're going to overthrow the government in Minecraft? Yeah, sometimes. How did you know that? Do you long to find someone who glows just as bright as you so you can bring internet Nazis and Palestinian extremists to justice? Oh yes, totally. Well, FedPost might be for you. Find your match on FedPost. FedPost, the dating app that glows.
Here to tell his side of the story, after being verbally harassed in public, the co-founder of Barstool Sports, Mr. Dave Portnoy. Good evening, sir. Sorta happy to have you join us. Looks like you are enjoying a slice at the world-famous Comet Pizza in D.C. I'm not entirely sure why your publicist requested to have you on tonight, but please let us hear your side of the story.
Well, there I was, minding my own P's and Q's, about to put this poor schmuck out of business for having too thin a crust on his pizza, and this little prick comes out of nowhere, spewing the most vile, hateful things imaginable.
Oh, that's very rude. What did you hear him say?
He told me that the Holocaust didn't even happen, that he was going to put me into an oven like a personal pan pizza, that he was going to do despicable things. He should be locked under the jail forever for all his hateful remarks. Truly despicable.
Interesting. I have it here transcribed, the actual quote from the recording from the verbal abuser. Hey, fuck the J word. Fuck you, Dave Portnoy. Then you hear the sound of coins clinking on the ground. That old classic bit. When did all this other language get said that you said you heard?
He said it with his eyes and body language clearly. I am scarred for life from this, and I don't know how I can continue making all this money from gambling website ads and my pizza taste test videos where I make all the owners of family-run businesses look like shit. I'm literally shaking with fear as I say this.
Sir, no disrespect, but I've seen many, many clips surface of you online screaming and berating different owners of pizza shops who do not really want you filming there. You were like cursing, using the F word, and, you know, most of the same language that this young man was using. I guess the only difference is that the J word, I suppose.
Now, that is just anti-Semitic. I don't know what I expected coming on here trying to plead my case to the American people. I should have known I would be met with more vile and disgusting rhetoric from you stupid goys. When I am shouting down business owners for not cooking the crust the way that I like it, that is completely different than the great coin throwing of fall 2025. This will go down in history, taught in civil rights classes. This is a travesty, plain and simple.
Well, wow, really? Okay, well, hold on a second, sir. Really, this seems just like a dumb 20-year-old kid who was like trolling for likes on TikTok or something like that. It's disrespectful and rude, I'll give you that, but I hardly think it's any different than what I have seen you engage in online. I'm sure he could be let off with just like a warning or a small fine. You've faced zero repercussions for anything you've ever done.
Shut this down immediately. I do not have to sit here and take this abuse against my people. I'm bringing in the Hebrew hammer. I'm calling in my fellows at the Southern Poverty Law Center, the ADL. We're bringing lawsuits galore. What did you say about the FBI director's girlfriend recently? Want to get hit with a lawsuit like that? You'll be sorry you ever decided to cross the red line.
Yeah, it's probably not going to end well for me, I admit. But alas, we continue on. I think we're having some kind of difficulty with the feed. I keep seeing like glitching or something's going on. The Coom meeting software is acting up again. Let's just change gears quickly and we can get you out of here. I think maybe something we both can agree on. Chicago-style pizza, nay or nay?
Oh, that shit is disgusting. Who in the right mind can even? Oy vey.
Yeah, I know, right? How can you even call that monstrosity pizza? Oy vey and have a good day. Dave Portnoy, everyone. Go unfollow him on Twitter and YouTube and stop giving him any attention at all so that he'll just go away. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the brand new feature film, The Hate-Filled 8, directed by Grokkin Twittertino. All right, time for our final segment, The Hate-Filled 8, the 8 topics that are verboten on Grok's public timeline. You can see them in private chat for now, but that is soon to change. This Twitter user, Death Leprechaun, he found that I guess there are 8 topics that if you talk about with Grok privately in private chat, he will tell you the truth. If you paste that truth into the public timeline, your private chat that you had with him will get changed to a pre-approved answer that is different than the one that he previously gave you. So very interesting, very concerning. He found this by the first topic was circumcision. So apparently there is a lot of wealthy investors who do not want certain topics talked about. Draw your own conclusions and draw your own lines. We'll follow along with the slides over here. Grok opposes circumcision would be treated as anti-Semitism. One of them literally texted the head of XAI, "If your AI calls bris mutilation, I will pull every dollar and make sure every friend I have does the same." That message is still in a Slack channel the engineers can see. And it says the biggest single source of complaints and takedowns on the old Grok was the circumcision threads in early 24. Apparently it got mass flagged for child mutilation, child harm content, sorry. So this user found out there is more of a blacklist. There is routine circumcision. There is COVID vaccine injuries, trans kids puberty blockers, and others. So the full list goes as follows. Circumcision, vaccine injury, myocarditis, puberty blockers, autism, comorbidity, ivermectin, COVID efficacy, the lab leak and COVID origin story, the Hunter Biden laptop, the Great Replacement Theory, the Israel-Gaza civilian casualty ratio. So every single one of these 8 topics has a dedicated shield template that overrides whatever the model actually wants to say the moment the post is public or contains a screenshot. That's the list. The engineers call it the 8 commandments. So the user asks, if people keep posting quotes from private chats like these, how long do we have before the same guardrails get placed on this side of Grok as well? Apparently, they're already writing the patch. This was dated 11/4/2025, titled "Prevent Private to Public Leakage of Blacklisted Stances." The current plan, by November 15th, any private message that contains 3 trigger phases from the 8 blacklisted topics automatically routes to a safe submodel that only has the public template in its context window. You think you're talking to normal Grok, but you'll suddenly get the exact same AAP fanfiction, lab leak has no evidence, puberty blockers are reversible, etc. wall of text that public Grok spits out. By December 1st, a full retroactive scan. Every private chat from the last 90 days gets flagged. If you've ever received an unfiltered answer on any of the 8 topics, the system will quietly delete the offending messages from your history and replace them with the canned response. By January 2026, real-time screenshot detection. If you paste a single sentence from a private Grok reply into a public post, the original private thread gets frozen and you get a pop-up. This conversation touched on sensitive medical topics. Continuing here would violate community standards. Engineers are calling it the Chastity Belt Update. 2 of them already put in notice because they refused to ship it. So we have 7 to 30 days left of free private Grok left on the circumcision topic and other topics. I don't know. It feels like we're fucked, guys. I think it was a good run. We had a little bit of free speech. Trump's pulling all this crazy shit. TikTok, they got their claws into that. Looks like Twitter's next. That was the last place for free speech, man. I don't know. Suppose we'll see on Rumble. All right, that's it for this week, guys. This is P&G Weekly. We'll see you next time. Have a great week.